Well, hey there, my friends. Thank you for visiting my channel, InknWhimsy. I'm Laura Daniels, and I'm glad you've decided to spend a little bit of time with me. Today, I am going to be creating or designing a single page 12 by 12 scrapbook layout using the beautiful The Good Life kit from Close to My Heart. I am going to be scrapbooking these photos right here. This is when I went home to Maine to visit my mom. Usually spend a couple of weeks every time I go home, and we had so much fun. And the story is about this lobster tree trap. And I also want to tell you, I had to refilm this intro video 4 different times, because every time I started to say lobster tree trap, I would say lobster trap, I would say lobster tree, I said lobster house, and I got to the point where like, oh my gosh, seriously, Laura, it's a lobster tree trap. Lobster tree trap. Lobster. I am not redoing this video. All right, so I grabbed my favorite cup of coffee like I always tell y'all to do. I looked at my photos and I wrote the story. So you'll be hearing the story of our adventure towards the end of the video. And you're probably wondering, because this happened back in February of this year, 2023, how am I remembering it so well, especially that I'm 61? But how am I remembering it well to begin with? You know, it's because I write in my daily journal, my daily planner. You know, you can buy the planners that have them in daily, or you have the 7 days in columns. So every day I just write down what's happening, and especially if I go to visit the kids, or I go home to see mom, go spend the weekend with my daughter, I'm writing down in bullets what we did. And then at the very bottom in script writing, I'll just write notes about something funny that was said, a fun part of the day. So when I am looking back 6 months later, 8 months later, or a year later, and I finally found the scrapbooking kit that goes perfect with my photos, I'm still going to be able to write the story, and I'm going to be able to paint that picture with the journaling and with the photos. So let me show you where my inspiration is coming from. Now this is the Good Life kit. This is it right here. I am using inspiration from the scrapbook kit. Now what's neat about the scrapbook kit is that you get detailed instructions on how to assemble 3 double-sided 12 by 12 layouts. You get ephemera, you get stickers, you get specialty papers that you can't find anywhere else, punch outs you can't find anywhere else, you get the solid cardstock, and you get the printed papers. Now you can usually buy this right here, this set right here, you can get it individually. So there are things that you get in this kit you don't get anywhere else. So this is my inspiration. I want to hold this up. When I am in love with this. I wish they would come out with this paper all by itself. But when I saw the grays and the blues, and then with mom and I in our red coats, I had also bought the mix-in paper pack, and I was looking at the red gingham and then the browns and the wood grain. So I am going to have some fun with this. One of these days I need to do an inspiration page off of the scrapbook layout that they always share with each mix-in paper pack. And the benefit of the mix-in paper pack is it goes with both of the 2 main kits that are offered in each seasonal catalog. So this paper pack in all of its entirety will also go with this scrapbook paper collection, and then it will go with the second one, because there's always 2 paper collections. So the colors will also go with this. So if you get your kit and you also get the mix-in paper pack, and it's only, gosh, mix-in paper pack, $8.95. Girl, you can't go wrong. Alrighty, so let's get back to my inspiration page. My photos. This is the main one. This is what drove it all right here. I think it's as pretty as a picture, as a painting. Go grab your favorite cup of coffee. We're going to have some fun together. And in the end, I'll tell you the story, and we'll see how all of this comes together. See you in just a second. Oh my gosh, I don't know what happened. I'm sure it was something I did, but you guys just missed all the funny stuff. All the mistakes I made. So I've got to catch you up on everything I did when I thought you were seeing and I thought I was filming. Jeez Louise. Okay, let's start over. So starting here, I first laid down these 3 strips up here. And this strip right here, I didn't have a full length, so I cut it. You know, it was a piece about like this. I cut it and I joined it right here. You can barely see it. So this has 3 different strips. And I was saying how with this strip of paper, when you tear it towards you, you get the white edge there. And then I just turned it and ripped it towards me again, and that was how I got the torn edge on both sides here. And then I laid down my photos so I could have an idea of what needed to be taped down first. So I realized this gingham right here needed to go first. And then I laid down this photo of Mom and I in front of the lobster trap tree. And I double mounted this. This is Harbor in the background. And then what I did, this is where my journaling is going to go in back of this. This is the main focus. And I was telling you all in one of my other funny moments as to what I do when I'm journaling. You know how I grab my cup of coffee and I type up my journaling. Well, the first thing I do is I print it on regular type printer paper so that I have an idea of how big it is and where it can go, right? Well, this right here now is cardstock, so it's thicker. And then I know where to put the 3D foam tape along the back because you want it to be the circumference of your journaling, right? So that's on the back. I lift off the peel and I stuck that down, and then I put my journaling inside. Now with the journaling, I wanted this to look like a piece of floating driftwood. So I didn't want a strong color in back of it. Matter of fact, I wanted the color of whatever cardstock that I used to just fade into the background here. So you can see when this is in here, see how it looks like it's kind of just floating? So I liked the look of that. So I laid all this down, and then I got to this point over here, and I was explaining, so let me tell you again since I wasn't recording. All right, so I have 2 photos here, and I did not put cardstock in front to fill up the flip flap because I want the clear flip flap to show more of this print in the background. You hear what I'm saying? So I'm going to keep it in the center, and it's very snug once this flip flap is turned down and sealed, that it's not going to go anywhere. But before I put that down and before I put this down, I wanted to make sure I did the cluster right here. So what I did is I lifted up this part of the paper and I did this little dot cluster right here that's on this stamp set, and it's called Background Elements. And I use cinnamon because I don't have, what's it called? No, not toffee. Oh, I can't think of it right now. I said it when I thought I was recording. So then I did my dots going down there. It'll come to me. It'll come to me. All right. So now I want to finish this cluster. And where I was at when it wasn't recording is that I was going to show you how I do faux stitching. Because when you look at this, you see how it kind of just runs off. It just blends into the page. So I wanted to do some pretend stitching on it. And I'm going to do it on several other pieces. And then what I'll do is I'll come back and you'll see it all done. But I wanted to show you a little bit. So there's 2 ways you can do this. You can do a long stitch, a dot, long stitch, dot, long stitch, dot. Now see that right there? That's 1 stitch. Well, since I started that on this, I do want to finish it. So I'm doing a long dot, real quick one, long dot, long dot, long dot, and I want to finish the top because I'm not sure what's going to show here. Okay, so there's that one. Now look how much that just really jumps off the page. Now a second kind of stitching you can do before I turn off the camera and do the rest of these is just, and you notice I'm not using a ruler because this, to me, it doesn't have to look precise. And I just do short little swipes with my pen. And if you hold your pen steady in your hand and you turn the piece of paper, it's much easier to make sure that you're staying straight. There we go. Alrighty, so now I'm gonna stop filming. I am going to faux stitch on a couple more pieces and then I'll be right back. Have any of you ever been doing a scrapbooking video or card making video and realized you weren't recording? That is very discombobulating, and it's actually, I'm very fortunate that I actually glanced up, because I try to do that throughout the video to make sure it is recording, because that would have been a mess. I think it's because I went to the dentist today. I get very discombobulated. Oh my gosh, I don't like going to the dentist. I am the one who sits in the chair. My hands are clasped so tightly that you literally see the red blood underneath, because it has come to the surface because I'm just so stressed. And it's not like they hurt me. It's the, what if they find something and they do hurt me? You know, when they're doing the cleaning with the, oh my gosh, there is not a part of that I like at all. And they're very sweet. I love my dentist and the hygienist who cleans my teeth. They're all just awesome. But they know when I walk through that door, okay, here she comes. Everyone be really gentle. Gosh, I'm such a baby at the dentist. I can remember when we were in the Navy and we were stationed over in Creek Grease, and I had to get a root canal. And let me tell you, their dentists on the island of Creek Grease was not as up to par as ours here. Now, they were good dentists, but they didn't believe in, oh, I don't know. They were just different. And girl, she just wanted me to sit there with my hands relaxed on the armrest while she's doing all this stuff in my mouth. And I said, oh, you don't understand. I need something to hold on to. So she literally gave me a handheld mirror. I was holding that with a paper towel wrapped around the handle because I was holding it so tight. Because they didn't, I don't think they had a strong Novocaine or anything. Oh my gosh. It was something. Something. All right. So you see how when I lay this down, I'll be able to see the print in the background? I like that. All right. So the next thing, I think I should lay this down first. Yes. Because then we're going to put the photo over the top of this backing. Okay. Here we go. And always important, make sure you have this in correctly so I know, oh, it's going to go this way, and I'm flipping up, so that's right. Now I'm going to get it nice and snug up there, and I fold it down, and I stand here with all the confidence, and I place it down, and then I seal it because I am just so sure it's straight. And I can't see it, so if it's not straight, please don't tell me, because like you cannot tear that up once it's dried. You're in a no man's land. And I just ran out tape, so we're using this. Here we go. All right, let's put this down. And now, where is it? Oh, it's right there. Okay, so we're going to put this, and oh, how do I do this then, right? Because it has to make sure that it's covered right there. Oh gosh. Let's see. I'm not going to lay that down. I'm not going to stick it down. I'm going to go like this. Okay. I think that's good enough. Now, I was wondering if I should put this on here, or should I put it on here? Or should I put it right here? I may put something else right there. No, I don't need it there. Let me set that there as I think about it. And let's do this side over here. So I'm going to use this. I don't need that much. This is going to go here. And I don't want this up too high. So I do want to lift this up a little bit. And I want it about right here, and I want it not right up to the edge, right there. I think that's good. Let's lay that right there. And then I did my faux stitching, you notice, on this side too. The faux stitching helps it to pop off the page more. This was supposed to go back there. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Here we go. So we're going to lift this up because I didn't press it down a whole bunch. I'm going to put this I want this up higher too. Come up just a little bit. Oh my gosh, here, this is where everything starts to fall apart on me. Right here. We'll go right there. We'll do this again and put this one right about right there. I think will look good. All right, now I've got these little pieces. Added more roller tape in. All right, so let's put down the other pieces. So the next one I want to put down, I think this one right here. We're going to lay this one. Now I'm paranoid. I keep looking up to make sure it's recording. Gosh, what a mess that was. I was not going to tear up all of my stuff to pretend it never happened. Because you know what? This stuff happens, doesn't it? It most certainly does. All right. So I'm just doing some layering here. I want to stick this. Oh, I think that looks good. I like it. I like it. All right. Now with this little button here, I want to put a dimensional. Pick it up. It was a sticker, but you know how you use the non-static to kind of take the sticky off it so that you can do some planning. Like, well, where do I want to put it? Maybe it'll look right there. Let's try it right there. That kind of stuff. All right. Here's a little wooden button. This came in the ephemera. And we are going to stick this down right there. Right down. All right. Now, I like this day, and I want to put this on the bottom here. That's why I'm not sure where I'm going to put that one. So we'll do this one first. I'm going to put it right on the top of the photo. And this says, this day, because the story is all about this day. And you'll hear the story as we get to the end of this. All right, so here is it's real thin. I don't even know what you call it, because it's not, is it wood? It feels like wood. I'm sure it's written in the catalog. So it's a star. I wanted to have some stars. Remember the time I was filming the video and I was putting the glue all on the wrong side? Y'all are like dying. And of course I'm just like doing my merry little thing and I'm putting the glue down, and then I go, oh, and I like to lost my mind when I realized what I had done. Thank goodness I was able to get it off. All right, so with my little happy, because I was very happy, I was with my mom. Let me get an idea. I want these to kind of be tipped a little, and I had an idea to do, how can I do this? Let's up there, put that one up, this one down, come here, put this one right here, and this one, they can't be too far apart, it looks kind of silly. And I wanted to do some faux string coming down to draw it with the Le Pen. Bring out a little bit of French. So I am going to do, we're just going to put these down and then I'm going to draw it. So I think I'll be able to do that better. I want them all a little crooked, and you know why I want them all a little crooked? That way it's not a big deal if they're not absolutely straight. That's a tip I use. Something I did for my own sanity. Even when I was trying to make my planners all look real pretty. And so I wouldn't have to be so worried about everything being meticulously straight. I wrote crooked on purpose. You didn't know that was a thing, did you? I want to turn that one a little bit that way. Put this one this way. So let's see. And the reason I am leaving space here is because I want to put down this you and me, as in my mom and me. All right. I love it. I tell my mom, because my dad's no longer with us, I said, watch my videos, because you always know everybody in the scrapbooking videos. And I'll be like, you're just visiting friends. So she'll sit on her back porch with her cup of tea or her glass of wine, and she will watch the videos, and she always makes my day when she leaves a comment. So you'll see me replying to her going, "Love you, Mom." Yeah. Yeah, my sister watches them sometimes too. I don't know if anyone else in my family watches. They're busy. All got their lives. All right, you see I'm doing the little bow. I was just totally just having fun with this. I was not going to stress it. You notice I didn't stress. I just did it. Okay, here's my you and me. And I am not going to do this on 3D foam tape. We are just going to stick this down. And I don't want it to be in the middle because we have that right there. I think I want to go a little bit over to the side there. Right there. Oh, I like the way that looks. That looks good. All right, now, what do we want to do with this? I think it looks funny because there's something right there. But if we flip this up and we put it right here, maybe I should do something right there. Let me pause the camera. All right, so I went digging through the stash, and here's what I decided to do, because you're right, that looks so bare, is I found this strip. So I am going to put this on the bottom, not right on the bottom. And remember, I don't want to go into where the clear part of the flip flap is, and I can't be too close because it needs to fold down and such. So I'm going to go up to about right here. You know, I measure. I am not going to tell you I measured this because obviously with all my talking schmack, I still didn't have it right. There we go. Oh my gosh. I could have sworn that was the right length. Okay. Is that straight? I don't think so. I'll move it up just a titch. And that's better. All right. And now I want to add this label that says, "Be grateful," which Mom and I are. Always love our time together. And I found a teeny little button. The little button's going to go on there. All right. And then I got to tell you the story because the story is so funny. I will actually, I think I'll read you the journaling. How's that? Okay. So we're letting this dry just a little bit. Let me read you the journaling. So this is going to have two interactive elements. It has my journaling pulling out here, and it has the flip flap. And so what I have to do, and what I will do in the very last segment of this video, is I'm going to show you how I put the slats in the sheet protectors. All right, so here is the journaling story. And I have to tell you, the more I take the time to write these stories, the more I'm falling in love with the process of remembering the story and writing it down. So here it is. February in Maine. I go home a couple of times a year, spend a couple weeks with my mom, and this was in February, and we went snowshoeing with my brother and his wife, and that's a whole nother scrapbook spread, which is fun, so I'm looking forward to doing that. But this is about today's adventure, and I titled it February in Maine. The sky can be a tumultuous and gray, or as wispy and as beautiful as a spring day. Today we had both. The temps were in the low 50s. It was a sunny, picture-perfect day as Mom and I had set out on yet another grand adventure. Just where was that lobster trap tree located, with the scene of the Nubble Lighthouse in the background. Now this right here is the Nubble Lighthouse. And I had seen on Instagram where someone took a picture and they were looking over the top right edge, I believe, of the lobster tree trap. See, I did it again, the lobster trap tree. And they had the lobster trap tree, and then in the background was the Nubble Lighthouse. I go, Mom, we need to find that. So we went on this adventure, and after 40 minutes of driving, we had finally determined that the lobster trap tree could be found at the Fox Lobster House. The sky was just really starting to darken, and the wind was picking up. And we were just pulling into the parking lot, and the owner was already halfway up this tree, and he was starting to take it down. We just ran out of the car. We were laughing. The wind was howling. It was whipping our hair. It was whipping our jackets, and we're racing to the owner who's up the top of the tree, taking all the wires off. Wait! It reminded me of one of those old sitcoms where everything slows down. Wait! We said, can you take our picture, please? So he climbed down, very good-natured man. I said, can we get our picture first? He laughed while climbing down, and we filled him in on the nature of our quest and how we were trying to find this one photo. And I said, do you have a lot of people coming here to take photos? He goes, oh, yes, ma'am. We have people coming from all over to take a picture because they decorate it different. This used to have teddy bears on it because it was around Valentine's Day. And he was very gracious. He took our picture. Now I can't get this in. And I documented the story. And then when you do the flip flap, you see exactly everything that Mom and I did in one day. Because I ended my journaling saying, I don't know how Mom and I do it. How we just can laugh so much, have so much fun together, and fit so much in to our day. And I ended it with saying, I love you, Mom, because one day she will see this in person when she comes to visit. All right, my friends, so hold on, because now I am going to show you how I make the slits to be able to insert this page right here, but you'll still be able to do these 3D aspects of it. So hold on. I've had several people ask me how I do this, and hopefully, even though I'm doing it on camera, I'm not going to mess up simply because I'm doing it on camera. All right, so we're going to set this aside just for a second, and I'm going to keep this right here so I know where the center of the camera is. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to grab your sheet protector. These are absolutely awesome. It is a very thick plastic, so these are not going to tear here at the seam or anything. Make sure it's positioned the right way, and you're going to take your what do you call it, cutting mat, and stick that in there, because you don't want to cut through to the other side, right? You only want to cut through on this side. And then you're going to take your masterpiece and you're going to stick it inside. Now you need to, go slowly because you have dimensionals on here. You have different pieces that you've added, especially up here with my happy and all my little dots and stuff. So that needs to, all right, here we go. So it doesn't need, oh, it does need to be down all the way. See, I almost made a mistake. You need to have this where you're going to put it in the paper sleeve. So make sure it's down all the way. Otherwise, you're going to end up cutting in the wrong place. Right. All right, now you need your ruler. And we're going to do down here and up here. And of course, if this doesn't come out, I'm deleting this and doing it again. You may never know how many times I do this to make sure I get it right for the camera. All right, so we want this to flip up. And basically, after I make the slit, this will be on the outside, right? All right, so I don't want to be right on top of it. I want to be a little bit above it. And I'm going to take a pencil and I'm going to go a little bit further past it. All I'm doing is making a mark that we should be able to see. Go over it a few times. And it'll be on, because I'm not going to cut it with this in there. Does that make sense? Yeah. All right, we're going to do the same up here, just above the top, because I want the whole piece of journaling to come out correctly. Correct? Right. Okay, let's make sure we've done that enough. All right, now let's pull this out. Now you see the lines right there? Can you see them? All right, so now the cutting board is underneath this, so I'm cutting one layer. I'm going to get my ruler again. I'm going to be very careful. And it goes to right here. All right, here we go. And then it goes to right there. So we hold this down securely, and you just go right here, and you come across. And if you go a little longer, wider than it needs to be, it doesn't hurt anything. See how that's nice and even? All right, now we're going to move up here, and we're doing this one, and that goes right there. Okay, and all you do is just hold it down. And let's make sure that's even. All right, so now we take this out. We set that aside. We put the cover on the X-Acto knife so Laura doesn't hurt herself. And now we put these in. I'm going to turn this off while I get the sleeve in so things don't get too chaotic. Well, I forgot. I did want to show you this part. So you were probably wondering, well, how do you get this so it's on the outside when you're putting it in the sleeve? Aren't you going to have to open it up and slip it in? No, it's actually very easy. So watch. Here is the slit right here beneath my finger. So as I started to pull the scrapbook layout down, I made sure I lifted this part, the top part of the flip flap, up so that as it was sliding down, it was coming up and over the slit that I made. Okay, now as I'm continuing up, I need to pay attention to anything else that's going to catch on this right here. So we're going to keep coming down. Alrighty, so I wanted to pause just a moment and take the Versamat off of the background and actually turn the 12 by 12 around properly, because this is how you would see it in the album, and show you how nicely it works when you have your interactive elements on the top of the page. Now, one of the options with the flip flap is to literally attach it to the top of the photo sleeve once you have it in your album. But since I like to put mine in later, I want to be able to just put the slits when I actually put in the album. So here we go. The journaling comes out real easily from the top because I have the slit right there, and then we have this flip up, the flip flap right here. I did take it back out of the sheet protector so that we could look at the inspiration. Remember, I was looking at this right here. This is the layout from the September-October catalog, and I love the colors in this, and I thought they went so well with the colors from the scavenger hunt that Mom and I went on. And let's look at some of the things that I did do. I used the background sheet with the windmill, and I made sure that even though I used a flip flap, I still had some clear on both sides because I didn't want it to be that big. I wanted to show as much of this as I could. I used the Harbor cardstock to double mount my photo. It really makes it pop. And then I used the gingham on the side like they did, and I did these strips up at the very top. And when you look at these tags right here, I used that as inspiration for this cluster and this one here on the bottom left. I absolutely love how this came out. I love the idea of the balloons right there, the cluster with the different tags, having the flip flap, and then the journaling of, you know, exactly what our day entailed. And then I love how this came out where it looks like a piece of driftwood up top. I'm very happy with this. I usually don't put any of my pages in an album until the end of the year, because once a quarter I like to go through all these and show them to all of you, and it's hard to see when it's under a sheet protector and you have the glare and everything. All right, so don't forget there are still shots coming up, so you'll have a better view of all this. And also share with me if you've ever been filming and actually you weren't filming. So you thought you were filming but you weren't filming. How did you get over that? Did you just throw out the video, or did you just, okay, let me catch you all up and let's finish where we're at? And then the other question is, have you ever gone on a scavenger hunt in search of a photo you saw on Instagram or on Facebook when you're visiting someplace new? Because let me tell you, they are so much fun. And this lobster trap tree with the view of Nubble Lighthouse was quite the adventure for Mom and I. I love you, Mom. I'm glad you and I had yet another crazy fun adventure together. And to all of you, thank you for watching. I appreciate you. God bless you. Have an incredible day. Until we meet next time. Bye-bye.